The first rays of dawn crept over jagged mountains, painting the peaks in fire and gold. The base was quiet. Only the soft flap of a flag in the cold morning wind. Then, the radio exploded to life. "Mayday, Mayday, this is SEAL Team Delta. We're pinned down. Requesting immediate extraction. Over." The voice crackled through static, breaking the morning calm like shattering glass. There was urgency in every syllable, the kind that strips away rank, rules, and hesitation. Before we dive into this incredible true-to-life mission, make sure you subscribe to Truth Untwist, hit the bell icon, and stick around till the end. Because the way this rescue unfolds is something you'll never forget. Inside the command tent, operators froze. A map flickered on the central table. Flashing red markers showed the SEAL team's position. Deep inside hostile territory, in a narrow valley that was practically a kill box, 3 sides blocked by insurgent forces. The only escape route? Already compromised by sniper nests hidden in the rocks above. Silence fell. Everyone in that tent knew what that meant. Sending a standard rescue force would be suicide. And then, from the shadows of the room, a calm voice cut through the tension. "I'll go." All eyes turned toward Chief Warrant Officer Elena Marquez. On paper, she was a logistics specialist, the kind of soldier who kept supplies moving and bases running. But the few who'd seen her classified file knew better. She was Ghost Falcon, once the most feared sniper in the special operations community. A shooter so precise she could hit a target in the eye from over a mile away, and then vanish before the enemy even knew she was there. She had walked away years ago, after an operation in Eastern Europe went terribly wrong. Half her unit didn't come home. The mission was buried in secrecy, and so was she. But now, without a moment's hesitation, she was stepping back into the fire. Not for medals, not for recognition, because she knew no one else could get those men out alive. Within minutes, she was ready. Custom sniper rifle slung across her back, suppressed sidearm at her hip, recon drone folded neatly in her pack, laminated topographic map tucked into her vest. Her pilot was Mason Reed, a grizzled CW5 with 3 tours under his belt and the kind of steady hands you only get from decades in the cockpit. He studied her for a long moment, then shook his head. "You're insane." "Maybe," she said, pulling her helmet strap tight. "But I'm your best shot." The helicopter lifted off, rotor wash kicking up dust that stung the eyes. They flew nap of the earth, hugging the contours of the land to stay under enemy radar. Below them, the terrain was a mix of sheer cliffs and twisting ravines, nature's perfect maze for an ambush. The radio crackled again. Bursts of gunfire, shouts, then the thud of mortar rounds. The SEAL's transmissions were growing shorter, more frantic. Time was bleeding away. At the final ridge before the kill zone, Elena tapped Mason's shoulder. "Hold here." She jumped from the bird, her boots crunching into the gravel. Crouched low, she moved between jagged boulders until she found the high ground. Through her scope, the valley came alive. Enemy fighters shifting sandbags, optics glinting in the early light, rifles trained on the trapped SEALs. Her breathing slowed. Her finger rested on the trigger. One shot. A sniper's scope shattered, dropping the man instantly. Another shot. A machine gun nest went silent. The valley reacted like a kicked hornet's nest. Shouts echoed. Fighters scrambled for cover, scanning the rocks for the ghosts they couldn't see. She was already moving. Every new shot came from a different angle, creating the illusion of multiple snipers. The SEAL leader's voice came over comms, raw and tense. "Whoever you are, keep doing what you're doing." "Get ready to move," she replied, shifting position again. She'd found it. A narrow, unguarded path leading down to a dry riverbed. From there, it was a straight shot to a small clearing where Mason could set the bird down. But it would only work if she could keep the enemy pinned. She went loud. Rapid, calculated fire cut down anyone moving in the open. Her rifle barrel smoked. She switched to her sidearm, dropping closer targets. Through the haze of dust and muzzle flash, she saw them. The SEAL team breaking from cover, sprinting low, weapons up. Overhead, Mason brought the helicopter in hard, skids barely grazing the ground. The SEALs piled in one after another. Elena was last, sprinting, diving into the open door just as rounds cracked past her. Mason yanked the bird into the air, banking sharply away as tracer rounds zipped through the morning sky. Below, the valley shrank, the enemy scattering in frustration. The adrenaline hit all at once. Elena leaned back against the cabin wall, chest heaving. The SEAL leader turned to her, eyes wide. "Who the hell are you?" She gave a tired half smile. "Just someone who didn't want to see you die." By the time they landed, her name was already spreading through the base. Not her real name. That stayed buried in files no one could access. But the story of Ghost Falcon, the sniper who appeared from nowhere, turned the tide of an unwinnable fight and vanished again. That story would live on. And somewhere, far from the noise of the base, Elena Marquez would pack away her rifle and slip back into the shadows. If you enjoyed this story of impossible odds and unshakable courage, hit like, share this video with someone who loves true hero stories, and subscribe to Truth Untwist for more missions that will keep you on the edge of your seat.